Birth, often described as a moment of hope, of love, of joy, and of a new life. But for many women around the world, that moment becomes a source of trauma, of pain, and of silence. Hi, my name is Lovetti, and on today's episode, I want us to talk about the violence that happens when women go to hospital, commonly known as obstetric violence. And today, we expose the hidden crisis, the violence during childbirth. Now, this is not from contractions, but it's from the people who were meant to care. Therefore, we owe it to every mother and every child to break that silence. There is an established concept in global maternal health literature, which is often known as obstetric violence. Sometimes it is called abuse during childbirth or disrespectful and abusive maternity care. Now, according to one landmark framework, abuses can actually come in physical form, verbal form, non-confidential care, non-dignified care, or even being detained in a healthcare facility. And of course, this looks a little bit different in everyday life practicals. Unwanted forced examination, procedures done on a woman without informed consent, simple things such as restricting a woman during labor of movement, especially when she needs it the most. And it even gets worse if this is done without any medical reason. One thing that people think is a norm and think they are actually doing the woman the best is to deprive a woman of pain relief when she actually requests it. It's a very common thing that happens within the community of physiological birth providers or natural birth providers. Discrimination, or you want to call it different ways of treating people according to their races or according to their social status or maybe just their immigration status. This is also a form of abuse. And here is something that we need to really understand. Most importantly, sometimes even when there is no emergency that actually occurs, the birth may have been medically safe. The woman's experience can still be deeply traumatizing for her. And in most cases, these are women whom their dignity, their autonomy, or even their self-worth has been violated during birth. Hey, for the complete video, I want you to go on my YouTube channel, click on the link below, and you can get the whole video. And of course, tell me what you think about this and what's your experience during birth. In a recent global systematic review and meta-analysis covering 37 countries and 200,000 women, 58% of these women experienced some sort of mistreatment or disrespect during their maternity care. Other studies shows a wider variation from less than 2 to almost 100%, depending on your status, your migration status, of course, your race, as well as the kind of languages that you can speak. Fascinating, isn't it? The large prevalence suggests that this care issue is not just a marginal issue. It is a global maternity care problem, with preferences a bit higher in some parts of the world. In 2022 alone, women that gave birth worldwide, 19% experienced post-traumatic stress disorder, all diagnosed. 19. One would think it will only get better, but in 2024, it is 25% of women who experience post-traumatic stress disorder due to the way they were treated during the time of their maternity care. So while we go around ranting about the way we can take care of women, whether physically or mentally, and we're focusing more on the medical part, trying to repair something that was never broken, I think the thing we should be working more on is how to handle situations. Maybe staffs should be taught on how to handle stress instead of conveying their stress to the women. It is important to understand that in prenatal psychology, that children seem to experience most of the time the same experiences that their mother experienced during birth. And the most crucial time is the last times of the pregnancy, so the third trimester. Maybe it is time we stand up together and start walking in uniform to understand that the pregnant woman also needs care. She is not just carrying a gram, she is carrying kilos, and for almost 10 months. This actually disrupts her hormones, making her more vulnerable. Not just that, but also making her very sensitive, making her a bit weaker, but at the same time, a bit stronger. Maybe, just maybe, it is time to listen to the woman more than we listen to the machine. Maybe it's time to hear what she has to say, that she feels a certain way, rather than looking out for what the ultrasound has to say. Maybe it is time to listen to her voice and the way she hums, rather than looking at the CTG machine to control the contractions. My name is Lovetti Lafua. I'm a nurse, midwife, biologist, and a human optimization researcher. I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday. On today, remember that God loves you, and so do I.